In fact, 5 dynasties ruled over the Delhi Sultanate during this period. From 1206 to 1526, 5 dynasties reigned Delhi Sultanate Empire. They were one is slave dynasty, second one is Khilji dynasty, third one is Tughlaq dynasty, fourth one వచ్చేసి Sayyid dynasty, Sayyid dynasty. Last dynasty was named Lodi dynasty. Lodi dynasty. These 5 dynasties reigned from 1206 to 1526 AD. Slave dynasty or Banisa Vamsham reigned from 1206 to 1290. Next, Khilji dynasty reigned from 1290 to 1320. And third dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, they were reigned from 1320 to 1413. Fourth dynasty, Sayyid dynasty, this dynasty reigned from 1414 to 1451 AD. After the last dynasty, Lodi dynasty, this is Lodi dynasty. Lodis reigned from 1451 to 1526. Who is the founder of Delhi Sultanate Empire? Delhi Sultanate Empire was established by Qutbuddin Aibak. Who is Qutbuddin Aibak? Qutbuddin Aibak was a regent of Gori Muhammad. Please listen carefully. Qutbuddin Aibak, page number is 81. 81 page number. The slave dynasty the first ruler of Qutbuddin Aibak. Please listen carefully, all of you. The first ruler of Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak, the first ruler of Delhi Sultanate Empire. He reigned from 1206 to 1210. Reigned only 4 years in Delhi as the viceroy of Qutbuddin Aibak completed the work of his master and family, founded the Delhi Sultanate in India. The most important military achievements of Aibak was the conquest of Bihar and Bengal in 1197 AD. One of his generals by name Muhammad bin Bakhtiyar Khilji undertook the expedition against Bihar and Bengal. Bakhtiyar Khilji reached Nadia, the capital of Lakshmana Sena of Bengal. On hearing the news of Bakhtiyar invasion, Lakshmana Sena fled away. Thus, Bihar and Bengal fell into the hands of Bakhtiyar Khilji. Thus, Qutbuddin Aibak, by consolidating his master dominion and by the conquest of Bihar and Bengal, he founded the Muslim Empire in India 1206 AD. The empire founded the Delhi Sultanates. As the Sultan of Aibak did not undertake the fresh conquest, he consolidated his position by entering into matrimonial alliance with the other important Muslim ruler of India. He married the daughter of Tajuddin Eldach, the ruler of Ghazni, and gave his sister to Kubacha to the ruler of Sindh. He also gave his daughter on his loyal and capable slave general Iltutmish. As the Sultan, Aibak had no peace. He has to face a number of problems. His relatives, for example, elders of Ghazni and Kubacha of Sindh, coveted the throne of Delhi. Under such confused state of affairs, Aibak not only compelled Ali Mirza Khan of Bengal to recognize his sovereignty, but also undertook an expedition to northwest. In his northwestern campaign, he defeated elders and occupied Ghazni. This victory was only short-lived. Later, he was driven out by elders. Aibak returned to Lahore where he died in 1210. The credit of establishing the Muslim rule in India definitely goes to Qutbuddin Aibak. He was not a constructive genius. He was intolerant towards others' religion. However, he was patron of learning. He had the title of Lakh Baksh. Who is the title of Lakh Baksh? లాక్ బక్ష్ అనే బిరుదు ఎవరికి గలదు? కుతుబుద్దీన్ ఐబక్ గలదు. గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. He was intolerant towards other religions. However, he had an artistic taste. He built two mosques, one at Delhi, second one Quwwatul Islam, and the others at Ajmer, Hyderabad. In commemoration of the Muslim Empire in India, he also started the construction of the famous Qutub Minar at Delhi. This is the Aibak administration system. And the next one, Iltutmish. Iltutmish. He reigned from 1211 to 1236. 1211 to 1236 AD. Iltutmish was one of the able Sultan of the Delhi Sultanate. He was a Turk. He belongs to the famous Iberi tribes of Central Asia. He soon won the administration of his master. Aibak became the governor of Gwalior. And Bulandaha in succession. Leader Qutbuddin gave his daughter in marriage to him and appointed him as the governor of Badam, Leka Baddaun. After the death of his master in 1210 AD, he was died in 1210 AD. On the invitation of the nobles of Delhi, he deposed incompetent Aram Shah, the son of Qutbuddin Aibak, and usurped the throne. By his victorious campaign, he restored the lost territories of the Delhi Sultanate. In this regard, he completed the work of the master Qutbuddin Aibak. By his shrewdness, he saved the infant Delhi kingdom from Mongol peril. His political authority was also recognized by Khalifa. In honor of his achievements, the title Aide of Commander of the Feudal. He introduced Arabic coinage in India. He completed the construction of Qutub Minar at Delhi. And also, it was named after the great hero Kuwai Qutbuddin of Bengal. He was also a patron of learning. To conclude in the words Dr. A. Srinivasa, he laid the foundation of family monarch which reached a high water mark of despotism under the Khiljis. This is the Iltutmish life history and administration system. And Rajia Sultana. This is a very, very important short question. Rajia Sultana. Its another name was Rajia Sultana. Rajia Sultana, Rajia also called some of the historian. Sultana Rajia was the first Muslim woman ruler of India. Please noted this point. Rajia was the first Muslim woman ruler in India. She was the daughter of Iltutmish. In view of her capabilities, Iltutmish nominated her as his successor. But the nobles of Delhi court felt in and resolved to accept of women rule. Hence, they made the oldest surviving son Iltutmish, etc. Until Ruknuddin Firoz Shah as the Sultan, he mother Shah Tarkans, a vicious woman, assumed all the powers vexed by her misrule. There broke out internal rebellion in different and Firoz and Shah on the throne. But the group of powerful Turkish nobles called Ganga of the 40. Ganga of the 40 did not approve the rule by a woman and consequently her reign ended in 1240 AD. ఎప్పుడు అధికారంలోకి వచ్చింది ఈమె 1226 to 1236 to 1240. Then with the help of the infuriated by mob Razia put and end the Shah Tarkin and Firoz had sat on the throne. But the group of powerful Turkish nobles called Ganga of the 40 did not approve the rule by women, and consequently her reign ended in 1240 AD. After a brief period of 3.5 years, yet she ranked in history as the first and last woman. This is the Rajia Sultana. ఈమె ఇల్టుట్మిష్ యొక్క కుమార్తె. ఇతని మరణానంతరం సింహాసనాన్ని అధిష్ఠించాడు. ఢిల్లీ సింహాసనానికి ఎంపిక చేసే దాని కార్యక్రమ రూపంలో పెట్టవలసిందిగా తన సర్దార్లను కోరాడు. కానీ ఇల్టుట్మిష్ మరణానంతరం సనాతన సాంప్రదాయాలైన ముస్లిం సర్దార్లను ముస్లిం సాంప్రదాయానికి విరుద్ధంగా ఒక స్త్రీ అధికారాన్ని మన్నించడం అవమానకరమని భావించారు. వారు ఇల్టుట్మిష్ కోరికను త్రోసిపుచ్చి అతన్ని రెండవ కుమారుడైనటువంటి రుక్నుద్దీన్ ఫిరోజ్ షాను సుల్తాన్గా ప్రకటించారు. ఫిరోజ్ షా అసమర్థతను భోగలాసుడగుటచే అతని తల్లి షాద్ ఖాన్ సర్వాధికారాలు తానే చెలాయిస్తూ ఫిరోజ్ షా ఢిల్లీ సల్తనట్లో అంతరంగిక అలజడులు, అశాంతి ప్రజలు ఈ అవకాశాన్ని తనకు సాధనకు ధనం అవసరమని, దాన్ని సమకూర్చుకోవడానికి సిరి సంపదల నిలమైన మాల్వా, దేవగిరి రాజ్యాలను దండెత్తడానికి కుదిరించుకున్నాడు. గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ పర్సన్, బాల్బన్. He reigned from Balban.
Balban also important, sir.
Yes, Balban also very important. Rajya Sultana, short question is very important. Who is the first woman ruler in India? Rajya Sultana.
Rajya Sultana, Balban and?
Yes, Balban and Alauddin Khilji. Next chapter. Alauddin Khilji, Muhammad Khilji. These are four questions are very important.
Qutbuddin Aibak, sir?
Qutbuddin Aibak not important, but 1 mark questions law important. Who is the founder of? Who was the founder of Delhi Sultanate Empire? Allah. Which year established Delhi Sultanate Empire? ఇలా ఆడడానికి ఛాన్సెస్ ఉంటుంది అంతే. Okay, next. The Balban, the accession of Balban to the throne of Delhi ushered a new era in the history of Delhi Sultanate in general and the slave dynasty in particularly. He was the greatest of the slave king. He was the greatest of the slave king. He served the Delhi Sultanate for 40 years and gave security and stability to it. He provided peace and order in the country and raised the prestige of the crown to a high pitch, which and fallen low during the days of his predecessors. Balban belonged to the famous tribe, Ilbari tribe of Turkestan. Balban belonged to the famous Ilbari tribe of Turkestan. He served Iltutmish as a personal attendant and married one of the daughter of the Sultan. Later, he became the member of the famous crops of the 40 Turkish slaves. 40 Turkish slaves. Under Sultana Rajia, he became the chief herdsman, and under her successor, Bahram, he obtained the Jagir of Revari. Afterwards, he played a unique role in deposing Masud and in placing Nasiruddin Muhammad on the throne of the Delhi. Soon, he was appointed as the chief minister of Nasiruddin. Finally, after the death of Nasiruddin, he ascended the throne of Delhi. Thus, Balban was the de facto ruler of Delhi for 40 years. Balban saved the territory from Mongols' raids. He sternly suppressed internal revolts, such as those which occurred in Bengal. Audh and Rajputana, he was also successful in maintaining perfect peace and order in the area. He elevated the prestige and dignity of the kindly office. He was absolutely monarchism. Amir Khusro, the celebrated Persian poet who proudly styled himself as Parrot of India. Parrot of India, it's called Amir Khusro, adorned his court. The impact of the strong personality of Balban on the slave kingdom could be seen from the fact that his death in 1286 AD created confusion in the state and none of his successors could fill the breach in the bloody fight for power that ensued. Jalaluddin Khilji and Amir Khan Amir and a master finally engaged successful and laid the foundation of the Khilji dynasty in 1290. This is the Balban. And next, very important chapter, Khilji dynasty. After the death of Balban, his son succeeded by Muhammad Shah. Muhammad Shah is not thrown the Delhi Sultanate Empire because of during the time of imprison the Mongols and killed the Muhammad Shah. Then Balban appointed grandson Kaikubad is a last ruler of slave dynasty. Kaikubad was a weak successor. That's why Jalaluddin Khilji removed the Kaikubad and established the Khilji dynasty in Khilji dynasty in 1290 AD. Jalaluddin Khilji was the founder of the Khilji dynasty. As first, he entered the services of Balban as the head of the royal bodyguards. Later, he served as the governor of Samana and fought with the Mongols. He became the army minister under Kaikubad. Finally, he put an end to the last king of the slave dynasty. Kaikubad and his son Kaimurs and occupied the throne in 1290. And Jalaluddin Khilji was an old man of 70 when he became to power, and the war and bloodshed in 1296 AD. He was murdered by his energetic and ambitious nephew and son-in-law Alauddin Khilji, the governor of Kara and Ayodhya in the Gangatic region. Alauddin Khilji was the nephew of Jalaluddin Firoz Shah Khilji. Please listen carefully. Alauddin Khilji invasions and Alauddin Khilji reforms. Very important question. This lesson. Alauddin Khilji invasions and Alauddin Khilji market reforms. Very important questions. That's why carefully listen here, all of you. Alauddin Khilji reigned from 1296 to 1316. 12. Alauddin Khilji reigned from 1296 to 1316. Alauddin Khilji was the nephew of Jalaluddin Firoz Shah Khilji. At first, he served as the governor of Kara, and later on, Audh or Ayodhya under Jalal. As a governor he undertook an expedition to the south. He plundered the city of Bilsa and attacked the kingdom of Devagiri to seize it immense. He defeated Ramachandra Deva, the Yadava king of Devagiri, occupied Illichpur, and returned to his province with an immense beauty. This remarkable success turned Alauddin made after power. So, he conspired and treacherously murdered his uncle Jalaluddin and crowned himself as the Sultan in 1296 AD to 1316. He, though crucial and despotic, proved himself to be one of the greatest Sultan of Delhi, both from the point of view of territorial conquest as well as administrative reforms and stability. After successfully preventing the Mongol incursions from the northwest, Alauddin Khilji, with the help of the able generals like Ulugh Khan and Nasrat Khan, turned on the conquest of the key and powerful Rajput status and Ranthambore, Mewar, Malwa, Chanderi, and Gujarat. All these succeeded one after the other to the Khilji arms. By the end of 1300 AD, practically the whole of northern India came under the sway of Alauddin. He became the author and champion of the policy of imperialism among all the Sultan of Delhi. Consequently, under the command of his able general Malik Kafur, he embarked on the conquest of Deccan. It's namely Yadavas of Devagiri, Kakatiyas of Warangal, Hoysala of Dwarasamudras, and Pandyas of Madura. During the time of in Deccan region, reigned several dynasties in this period. And Alauddin Khilji to send Malik Kafur. Malik Kafur was attacked the Yadavas of Devagiri, next Kakatiyas of Warangal in 1311, Hoysala of Dwarasamudra also 1311, Pandyas of Madura 1311 attacked the Malik Kafur. These dynasties to agree Alauddin Khilji's sovereignty. And this resulted in easy victory for the Khilji forces at all the places. It also added thousands of camel loads of gold, silver, pearls, and others rich treasures as war, beauty, and tribute. By the end of 1313 AD, Alauddin Khilji empire had come to embrace the whole north as well as the south. All the leading princes accepted his sovereignty. The Delhi Sultanate at this time truly reached its day. The Delhi Sultanate at this time truly reached its pinnacle of territorial expansion. This is the Alauddin Khilji invasions. Next one, Alauddin Khilji reforms. This is very, very important. Write an essay on Alauddin Khilji reforms. This is very, very important question. Alauddin Khilji reigned from 1296 to 1316. He was not only a great victorious general, but also an able and efficient administrative genius. He was the first Muslim ruler to provide a sound administration system to the Delhi Empire. Next subheading is despotism. Alauddin Khilji. Royal despotism was the keynote to Alauddin polity. Like Balban, he hated the cheeks of the nobles over the Sultan and the unnecessary interference of churchmen called ulema in the affairs of the states. Therefore, he curbed the power and influence of the nobles and challenged the authority of the ulemas. He was the first Muslim ruler to bring the church of ulema under the state control. He did not recognize the Khalifa as his political head and paid no homage to him. Who is Khalifa? Khalifa is a Muslim
Muslim leaders.
మత పెద్ద ముస్లింలకు అందరికీ ప్రపంచంలో ఉన్న ముస్లింలకు అందరికీ మత పెద్ద ఎవరు అంటే ఖలీఫా. ఈ ఖలీఫా యొక్క అందరూ కూడా రాజులు లోబడి ఉండేవారు. బట్ Alauddin Khilji not influenced. That's why he was the first Muslim ruler to bring the Church of Ulema under the state control. He did not recognize the Khalifa as his political head and paid no homage to him. Yet he lived as a Muslim, and outside India, he was known a great defender to Islam. Thus, Alauddin separated politics from religion and made the state purely political. The private property was abolished. Alauddin Khilji. Alauddin Khilji abolished the private property and all the pensions, endowments, inams, etc. were confiscated by the state. Wine drinking and wine selling was prohibited throughout the state. He gave up drinking and set himself as an example. He employed spies to report to him. He employed spies to report to him all the up-to-date information from all the corners of the empire, even the most trivial matters. The system of reporting went to such an extent that the noble communicated their ideas to one another only by son. Intermarriages and social or festival gathering amongst the nobles were strictly prohibited. And next, another point, military reforms. Alauddin Khilji was the first Sultan of Delhi who organized and maintained a vast standing army. Alauddin Khilji organized and maintained a vast standing army. According to Ferishtah, his army considered of 475,000 cavalrymen. He introduced several reforms in military administration to keep up its morale and became a forerunners to the other rulers of Delhi. He discontinued the payment of jagirs and paid only cash to the soldiers. He instituted the practice of maintaining the descriptive rules of individual soldiers to prevent proxy at military parades. He also introduced the branding of horses to prevent the substitution of a bad horses for a good one. This is military reforms. Next one, market reforms. Market reforms. Alauddin Khilji was introduced market reforms. This is a wonderful reform by Alauddin Khilji. The variable wonder of Alauddin reign was the control of the market. As vast standing army cannot be maintained at a low cost without the control of the markets. At the same time, he did not want to make the life of the soldiers miserable. Therefore, he introduced a series of economics regularization to keep down the cost of living. The prices of all the commodities, food, grains, cloths, horses, arms, etc., were fixed by the state, and all the merchants has to sell their commodities only at fixed prices, and hoarding and black marketing were not tolerated. Grain was stored by the state or state of meet the emergencies. All the merchants were ordered to register their names under unregistered merchants were not permitted to trade. Regular staff, Diwani Riyasat and Shahnai Mandi were appointed to control the market. Alauddin Khilji was formed new market reforms. Markets Alauddin Khilji maintenance was appointed Diwani Riyasat and Shahnai Mandi both to regularize the market reforms. Thus, he was called the daring political economist. In spite of the weakness of his system, Alauddin Khilji, he was undoubtedly the all-obliged and the greatest. He was the first sultan to conquer the south. His administrative measures, though repressive, were indeed remarkable. The control of the market prices was unparalleled even before. Or after him. Though a reign represents though he reign represent a high watermark of despotism. It suited the honor to conclude in the words of Dr. Ishwari Prasad. He possessed the qualities of a born military leader and a civil administrator, a rare combination of in medieval history. This is Alauddin Khilji market reforms. And the last one, pattern of learning and arts. Though illiterate, Alauddin was a pattern of learning and fine arts. Amir Khusro and Amir Hassan furnished in his course. His most famous building was constructed Alauddin Khilji. Its name was Alai Darwaza. Alai. Alai Darwaza was built by Alauddin Khilji. This located in Delhi nearby, which is an extension of Qutub Mosque at Delhi. It is one of the most treasured gems of Islamic architecture. This is Alauddin Khilji reforms and invasions. Next one, Tughlaq dynasty. Tughlaq dynasty. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq was the founder of Tughlaq dynasty. He was also known as Ghazi Malik. He has also known as Ghazi Malik and simply Tughlaq Shah. He was born to a Turkish slave and a Jat woman. He played an important role during the time of Alauddin Khilji is driving out Mongols. Later, he served as the governor of He played an important role during the time of Alauddin Khilji in driving out Mongols.
Sir, is this also important, sir?
Yes?
Is this also
Yes.
important?
No. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq is not important. Muhammad bin Tughlaq reforms only important. Okay. This write about the Muhammad bin Tughlaq reforms Anistad. This is the very important. I will explain later on.
Okay.
Okay. Later, he served as the governor of Dipalpur. Finally, he overthrew Khusro Shah, the last king of the Khilji dynasty, and occupied the throne of the Delhi Sultanate by Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. He is a very great ruler in this dynasty. He conquered Warangal in 1321 AD. But the Kakatiya Prataparudra II defeated by Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq. Ghiyazuddin was a great administrator and a great patron of learning. He patronized Amir Khusro also. He was fond of buildings. He laid the foundation of a big palace fort known as Tughlaqabad. Tughlaqabad. After the death of Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq, then succeeded by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq reigned from 1325 to 1351. Muhammad bin Tughlaq reigned from 1325 to 1351. This is the most important question. Muhammad bin Tughlaq was undoubtedly the most learned and accomplished among the crowned kings of medieval India. His original name was Juna Khan. His original name was Juna Khan. During the days of his father, he invaded the Kakatiya kingdom of Warangal, imprisoned its ruler Prataparudra II, and annexed to it the Delhi Empire. After the death of father, he ascended the throne. But according to some scholars, that killed his father Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq and succeeded to the throne. He was a scholar, an accomplished poet, and a lover of fine horse. He was a skilled sportsman and an excellent warrior. In short, as said by Ziauddin Barauni, he was a veritable wonder of the creation. He was a variable wonder of the creation. As far as his personal life is concerned, he was simple and free from all the vice of the age. He was not a religious bigot like other rulers of the Delhi Sultanate and exhibited extreme toleration towards others. Ziauddin Barauni and Ibn Battuta testifies the contradiction in his character. He lacked practical judgment and common sense. He formulated many daring and original schemes, but failed due to lack of statesmanship. To quote Dr. Ishwari Prasad said that the truth is that combined headstrong temper with advanced ideals of administrative reforms. And when his people failed to respond to his wishes, his wrath was terrible. Thus, like Nehru, he was an idealist but a poor executioner. Next subheading is reforms. Very important reforms. Administrative reforms. One is taxation in the Doab. Taxation in the Doab. Next one, transfer of capital. Transfer of capital. Third reform, introduction of token currency system. Introduction of token currency. Introduction of token currency. This is three main reforms. First one is taxation in Doab. The Sultan enhanced the taxation in the Doab region. To fill the royal treasury, he increased the taxation in Ganga Yamuna Doab, the richest and the most fertile land in this area. According to Barani, the taxation increased 10 to 20%. 20 nunchi 20% times more of course and exaggeration. Unfortunately for Muhammad, at this time there was a great famine in Doab. As a result of the peasants failed to pay heavy taxation. Added to this, the Sultan officials acted rigorously in collecting taxes. However, when the Sultan noticed the real difficulties of peasantry, he ordered the digging of wells and granting of loans of cultivators. Unfortunately, these measures came lost and hence his policy failed. Next one, transfers of capital. Muhammad bin Tughlaq capital Delhi to Daulatabad shifted by Muhammad bin Tughlaq because of invasions of Mongols. Another most ill-calculated and much condemned political design of Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the transfers of capital from Delhi to Daulatabad, approximately 100 miles between. In the administrative history of India, the transfer of capital from Delhi to Daulatabad was really a new experiment and was peculiar invention of Tughlaq. In spite of many commendable arrangements made by the Sultan, many people pursued and may suffered a lot on their way. In the meanwhile, the northwest frontier was exposed to Mongol invasions. By releasing his folly and other practical disadvantages of the new capital, he again transferred his capital to Delhi. Thus, as said by Lane Poole, Daulatabad remained as a monument of misdirected energy of the Sultan. This is the second point, last one, introduction of token currency. Muhammad bin Tughlaq was a well-known was Prince of Moneyers. Muhammad bin Tughlaq, it's called Prince of Moneyers. The scarcity of silver, the financial deficiency of the treasury, his love for experiment and novel methods, etc., necessitated Muhammad bin Tughlaq to introduce the copper coins in 1929. Muhammad bin Tughlaq introduced a new coin. Its name was copper token currency in the year of 1329. Though the idea was sound, but its execution was foolish. He failed to monopolize the minting of the coinage by the state and took no step to put down perjury. As a result, a number of counterfeit coins were minted both Hindus and Muslims. Then the new token currency became valueless as pebbles price rose high. Gold and silver became scarce. Trade came to a standstill and all business was paralyzed. Thus, great confusion prevailed during the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. That's why these reforms at the time of '1325 to 1351, wonderful reforms, but he implemented the reforms. It did not correct time, did not introduce the Muhammad bin Tughlaq. That's why totally failure these reforms. Today, class is concluded. Tomorrow will be continued. Okay. All of you?
Okay, sir.
Tomorrow will be explained another important chapters, and given the important questions also, I will explain tomorrow same time. Okay?
Okay, sir.